Well, hello again. I mentioned earlier that I would actually be coming back on here again to answer questions personally about my goals and plans in a little bit more depth. In the presentation, as you can see, I just did some research about the career of nursing and, what it costs, kind of the requirements, whether it is, known requirements like the test, the NCLEX, or soft skills like compassion, things like that. So now I'm going to attempt to answer my personal plan here of questions that were not necessarily listed in the slides here. Okay. So the first question, beginning now and until you've completed your program at your prospective institution, how long will it take you to complete your degree requirements? Or how many credit hours, quarterly hours are needed? So at ECU, I actually already completed all of the prereqs. And I completely even applied for nursing school at ECU. I did not get in, and I went another way and did public health. So after about 2 years or so, I am now going back for it. So I'm completely done in that respect. I'm now just applying to Edgecombe and surrounding community colleges as well to try to get in. So from now, after completing the requirement for the ACA, because that's the one course that apparently didn't show up in my transcript, I have 2 years to complete the full nursing part and get an ADN. So I believe that's 70 credits left. So yeah. Okay. The next question, how will you fund your education? So in receiving a bachelor's, I already have out student loans, no Pell Grants or anything else like that. So over the next few months, while I am applying, I will be trying to find as many scholarships as I can and grants if possible. But more likely than not, I'll end up pulling out more loans to fund, which is fine because after I get the job, it'll be worth it. Next question. What types of courses would you be required to take? So I told you, I've already taken a lot of the courses needed, like the anatomy, physiology 1 and 2, micros, all the prereqs. So that's already good. Okay, so we have a last few questions here. Do you plan to take an internship? So as I mentioned in the presentation, all nurses, whether you're going the ADN or the BSN route, are required for not only clinical hours in hospital, but you're also required to have a preceptor. So whether you're going on the job or whatever, you kind of will already have a built-in internship where you're shadowing a nurse, figuring out how that facility runs. So yeah, I guess I will have an internship in that respect. When do you plan to transfer? I am still deciding and will most likely figure it out soon, but I'm still deciding on whether or not I'm going to do the RN to BSN Edgecombe to ECU, or if I'm going to do it elsewhere, whatever. For right now, I'm just more focused on getting at least the ADN or the RN so I can start working. But most likely, if I do transfer, it won't be until after I finish nursing school. So, because you have to have an RN to do the RN to BSN. Last few, we're almost finished here. Do you have any future plans to enter graduate school? So the original plan when I was at ECU was to go to nursing school, graduate as an RN, then go and get my MSN as a nurse anesthetist. That was the original plan. I may still do that, but that's still up in the air at this moment. I'm still just trying to gain the RN first, and then whatever doors open up after that point, I may actually end up still pursuing that. All right, so I went over a lot of things in the presentation. but I will go over some of these as well. Is there a demand for new talent in this occupation? There are a lot of positions open for nurses. And there's even more of a shortage now, I think, than ever before. So nurses are always needed. I don't think it's going to be a field that's going to ever be saturated, especially male nurses. There's hardly ever any male nurses. So I think that there is a demand for new talent. The average salary, I would say it ranges. I saw, I think, 62,000, but it ranges, and it also depends on what shift, how much your differential is, what state you're working in, if you're doing travel nursing, or many things can change the salary for nursing. But I will say that the pay is definitely decent, pretty good, and you're ranging, I'd say 50 to 60s if you're just working in normal areas here. Okay. All right. The last few questions. Do I plan to join any professional organizations? Probably. I would say yes, maybe. It would be beneficial. I see like the American Nurses Association. There's quite a few. So I would say yes. The last one I'm going to end on, I did mention in the presentation, but I'll go back over it because I think it's very important, and it also leads into my last point. The advantages and disadvantages of nursing. All right. So everybody knows the disadvantages. You got long shifts, 12 hours. It can be stressful. It can be very stressful. You might have 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or 11, how many patients you got to take care of. You may come in contact with human waste. There's no telling what you might encounter. And then it's physically demanding. A lot of nurses do suffer from neck and back problems and many different things like that. Some, your immune system has to strengthen over time because you're always around sick people. But the advantages is what most people go into the nursing career for. It's definitely a rewarding career. You are helping people. You're comforting them. You're doing a lot of different things that you can definitely be fulfilled from and with your job. So that's definitely an advantage. Like I mentioned before, the pay is really good. It's not something that you should do exclusively for the pay, but the pay is really good. That is definitely an advantage. I like the flexible schedule. So with nursing, because people need care 24/7, you pretty much can work day, midday, night shift. You can work many different shifts, and there's really not too much of a shortage of overtime. So you can work as many hours as you need to, and truthfully, as long as you do the minimum to keep your license, you can work as little hours as you need to. So it's a very flexible schedule. Travel nursing also is a very attractive part of the career. If you want to travel and be a nurse, you can. There's people I know who might go and travel to California and make more, stay there 3 months and then come back to North Carolina or whatever. There's people who travel to New York or Hawaii or just other states. And then lastly, there's many positions, many opportunities available. If you become a nurse, it is very hard to believe that you can't get a job. So that's the advantages and disadvantages. So I guess to wrap everything up, nursing is what I want to do. It's what I want to go into. It's something that I am passionate about. I'm applying right now and I'm really hoping I get in. So I just wanted to wrap everything up as far as this presentation goes. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Bye.